In this class, I'm going to talk about Java strings. So in the Java language, the string class is provided by the JDK. It represents character strings. It need not be the same, it's not the same as an array of characters as in other languages like C++ or C. So any string literal such as double quotes, ABC double quotes represents an instance of the string class. So strings literals are always enclosed between double quotes. And strings are constant or immutable, so they cannot be modified after creation. The string class provides many methods to transform a string. These methods give the impression that the strings can be modified. However, all these methods in the string API which transform a string return a new string. The original string is unchanged. And the string API methods, they can be chained to chained one after the other to do multiple transformations. I'll show you an example of this later. So these are some of the important instance methods from the string API. An instance method can be invoked on an instance of the string object. So I have provided the important methods that you normally use. So you have char at, which gives you the character at a particular position in the string. Compares two strings lexicographically. That means it will compare the strings in the dictionary order. Then concat joins one string to the end of the existing string. It's equivalent to the plus operator. And then contains will check whether a string contains a certain set of characters or not. Formats the string. Get chars will get you the characters of the string for certain positions. You can read the documentation about all these methods in the string API documentation. So let me open the string API documentation. So if you go to this URL, you can see the JDK 6 string API, and you can see all these methods that I talk about, like index of, replace all, starts with, and so on. So strings can be chained. For example, let's say we have a original string called orig. It says hello, how are you? Then I can apply a series of transformations on this string by chaining the different methods. So I can say orig.trim, that will remove white spaces at the beginning and at the end of the string. To uppercase will convert the string to uppercase, and dot substring 3,8 will give me from position 3 in that string to and 8 characters from that particular position. And each of the above methods returns a new instance of a string. So orig.trim will return you a new string without white spaces at the beginning and at the end. White spaces in between are ignored by the trim method. And once the white spaces are removed from the beginning and the end, the dot to uppercase will return you a new string which will be converted to uppercase. So this is how string API instance methods can be chained. Now let's look at an example which illustrates how strings can be changed and how the string object is actually an immutable or unchangeable object. So here I have a string called orig which says hello, how are you? But if you notice, it has some white spaces at the beginning and at the end. And I'm going to modify the string orig by invoking a series of transformations on the orig string. First I'm going to trim the white spaces, then I'm going to convert it to uppercase, and I'm going to extract a substring from the string. And after all these transformations, I will return it and store it in the modified string. And after modifications, I'm going to print both the original string and the modified string. And if you notice, let me run this program. So if I run this program after modifications, the original string remains unchanged. You can see the white spaces at the beginning and the white spaces at the end. And then I have trimmed the string, converted it to uppercase, and I'm getting the substring from index 3. So after I have modified that string, index 3 is 0, 1, 2, 3. So it starts from L, but L has become uppercase. This O also has become uppercase. Then you have a comma. So you are going up to index 8, but 8 is not inclusive, it is exclusive. So if you start again from the beginning, it will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But I said 8 is exclusive for substring, so it will only go up to 7, which is the character H. So the 3 is exclusive and the 8 is exclusive. So in this, so I have demonstrated how the original string doesn't get changed when you invoke a series of transformation methods on it, or a character array, or any object. So let me show you a demo program here. So here I have a string S. I'm printing the string by using the plus operator. Okay, and I'll show you some examples about here. Here I'm using the replace method. So it will replace the character Y with the character B. Then replace all will replace 3 instances of this character Y with character B. And then you have like a substring method which will return you in the substring. The first one is inclusive, the first index is inclusive, and the third index is exclusive. So it will return you from a character from one represents the second character, so it takes that and it will go on up to index 4, but the character at index 4 is excluded. And the index of will return you an integer where the string YYY is contained in the string S. And the equals will compare two strings, and equals ignore case will ignore the case. So most of these names are quite intuitive. You can guess the meaning of what those methods are. And for additional details, you can go into the string API documentation and see how that method behaves. Like ends with will check whether the string ends with a particular string. Start with checks whether the string starts with that string. Then you can split a string on certain characters, and the split will return you an array of strings. Here I'm splitting on white space. Then you can also parse primitives by using the wrapper classes. So if you know that a string contains an integer, you can parse it as an int by using the integer.parseInt method, which is a static method obviously. Similarly, you can use a float to parse a float. You can use a boolean to parse a boolean. So this is how the string methods work. So try out this program and understand how strings work.